Hello, hi, welcome. My name is Sarah and this is Wicked Reading. So today we are going to talk about my spring TBR. I like to do seasonal TBRs because honestly doing it month by month is very stressful to me. And disclaimer, I am nothing if not a mood reader. So this TBR is more so a pile of hopefuls that I'm kind of currently very gravitated towards. I think that this season I will do better with my TBR than I did in winter. I think I definitely read some stuff ahead of my winter TBR, but there was definitely some stuff I didn't read. There's one crossover and then the rest are just pretty much gonna wait until November, December of this year because I feel like I missed the opportunity and like the season and atmosphere that I wanted to read them in. Spring, I had to Google it because I don't know. Spring goes until Wednesday, June 21st. So it's about 3 months. And I average about 5 to 7 books a month, so I stayed relatively close to that. I do feel really, like the books I'm looking at right now, like I am super excited to read all of these. I have a good feeling that I might actually stick decently to this TBR for the season. If any of these books stand out to you that you might want to see a vlog for, let me know and I will definitely prioritize those. So I did organize these in categories, so I will make timestamps for the genres. I do have a stack of horror books that I'm planning on getting to. First off, because this was in my book haul and so many people were saying how much that they love this, that it made me that much more excited to read it, so it's definitely going to be read this season, and that is Come Closer by Sarah Gran. This is a novella, it's pretty short, and it has to do with a trope of possession, demon possession versus potential mental illness. I really enjoy those tropes. I think that they are very interesting and you can do a lot of beautiful writing with it. And due to the nature of that trope, the books tend to be very introspective and very character focused, and I really love that. And it should be a really quick read, so I'm super excited. Next up in the horror category, I had The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. This has to do with a family that is like vacationing in a summer home in a cabin, go figure, and they get approached by a group of strangers that are kind of ominous, and it says that they say, "None of what's going to happen is your fault. You haven't done anything wrong, but the three of you will have to make some tough decisions. I wish with all my broken heart you didn't have to. We need your help to save the world, please." So yeah, they're vacationing in a home. Some strangers come up to them and say that. So it's very kind of mysterious. It feels kind of like end of the world potential, or like almost apocalyptic, or if they're from the future. I don't know, but I'm excited. They did recently release the movie for it. I haven't seen it. I really want to read this so I can see the movie because I really like the actors in that movie. And I haven't even looked at reviews for the movie because I just didn't want to know anything because I really don't know what direction this book is going to go in. Next, I have The Ritual by Adam Neville. This again was in my haul and so many people talked about how much they enjoyed it, so it made me that much more excited, so I bumped it up. I was going to wait kind of more for fall time for this, so hopefully I do still actually get to this. I have seen the movie for this, so all I really know about it is that it has to deal with a group of friends that decide to go on a hike in kind of a wilderness area and things go awry. I don't know how close this is to the movie. I do think there will still be a lot of kind of folk horror, ritualistic type horror, because that is very much Adam Neville's style from the books I have read of his. But I'm not going to look too much deeper into it because I just kind of want to go into it. I feel like it's going to be very atmospheric. I'm hoping for some really creepy imagery, some really creepy folk type horror, so we shall see. Next, for the horror category, I have The Troop by Nick Cutter. I have heard a lot of good things about this one as well. So this is another one that has to do with camping in the wilderness. So in this book, we are following a troop of boys, and from there, they end up having an unexpected intruder into their campsite, and it says he is a carrier of a bioengineered nightmare. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what direction this is gonna go. I don't know if it's kind of like creature feature-esque or more, I don't know. So we'll see. I'm excited. That was all the horror, so I do have a couple of romance. So this one I will probably actually start next because it is wintry-esque. If I don't start it now, I probably won't start it at all this season. And that is Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. So if you haven't heard of this, this is pretty much just a smutty romance that has to do with aliens. And yeah, that's really all I got on that. I will probably read this alongside with another book that is a little bit more, you know, has a little bit more plot, a little bit more going on with it, and then kind of read this before bed at night or something like that, and, you know, go through this relatively slow when I'm in the mood for that kind of thing. The other romance I have is Daisy Hates by Jesta Hastings. I'm super excited to read this one. I freaking loved Magnolia Parks. This one has to do with Daisy Hates and her relationship with Christian. Is that his name? I think it was Christian. And then also his brother Julian. And Christian and Julian are known to be, you know, I don't want to say like mobsters, but their family deals in some unsavory business, we'll say. And the whole idea of this like series, this world in general, is we are following this group of high society London socialites and their relationships with one another. So this one specifically follows Daisy and Christian, and I'm looking so forward to it because I really was intrigued by Christian and Julian and even Daisy. I should say also Daisy, I think Daisy's family is also involved. Or is Julian Daisy's brother? Now I don't remember. Now I'm getting everyone confused. But pretty much the main characters, the focus of this one, they all are somewhat involved in some potentially unsavory ways of business. I'm looking very forward to this. Next we'll do my fantasy romance. So I'm super excited to start this one. And the reason I'm starting this is thanks to Maggie's Books and Stuff. I will link her video below. She has this really fun TBR game that she posts, and she had one for fantasy romance, and I decided to partake in that. She explains it in the video, but you go to the video and then everything's timestamped. I kind of just blindly picked a timestamp for my reading prompt, and I ended up getting Escape Your Faith. And she explains what those each mean and gives examples, but for me, for that one, I decided to pick up Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I have been staring at this book for so long. It's about time that I just start it. I'm looking so forward to this. It has to do with our main character, who I'm not sure how to say her name. I have to listen to somebody else say it first. Tisanya, I think it might be Tisanya. She lives in a life of slavery, and she ends up killing somebody who is very high up, very well known, and she has to flee after that. She ends up being part of what they call the Orders, which is an organization of magic wielders strong enough to destroy her former masters. So it says a lot more too, but pretty much I feel like it just has to do with her escaping slavery and potentially changing the whole course of how this world and political system is set up. That's what I'm guessing it's going to be about. And there's an aspect of romance to this as well. And I have just been on such a fantasy romance kick lately. So this fit the prompt and I've been eyeballing it forever. Maggie gave me the push I needed to actually get into this book. Okay, so then next I'll show these three together because they're all part of the same series. So last month I officially started Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series, and I read the first 2 installments. So then I have to carry on with that, of course. So I have Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and Queen of Shadows. So this is the next 3 installments of that series. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. I'm looking forward to continuing on because I do think it's going to get better as we get deeper immersed into these characters and into this world. So yes, I'm looking forward to it. And these books smell like, these are like so good. It's like newspaper and I love it. So that's it for the fantasy romance. Again, that being said, all my fantasy romance are part of series, so I may or may not continue on with more books from those depending on how they go. So next we'll do kind of my general fiction-y. There's only 2 books in this. I don't know what other category that they would fit in together, so we're just gonna throw them together. And first we had The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. Now this, I don't know if it's a Greek myth retelling. I am not familiar with all the Greek stories at all, but it does have to do with Amara, who was once the beloved daughter of a Greek doctor until her father's death plunged her mother into destitution. And then Amara is now living as a slave and a prostitute in Pompeii's notorious Wolf Den brothel. And I think it's going to be a very character-driven story, very much finding the strength in yourself, potentially her escaping this situation. I'm all for the strong woman vibe, and I hope that it's very women helping women, and we'll see. Then we have The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Haro. This has to do with witches, go figure. So I think we follow two different timelines. We follow one from 1893 and then we follow a present day. And I think that it really kind of ties together the suffragist movement and kind of modern day feminism. And then last but certainly not least, I will be continuing on with the Yona of the Dawn series. So I have volumes 7 through 11 currently, and I do plan on reading all of these by the end of June. Yona has just been such a great story. If you're looking for a manga, I do recommend this one. If you want more of a kind of adventurous, following a girl who really starts to learn who she is and learn how strong she is, and there's potential for romance to blossom. We have some great characters, and I've just been having such a great time with this manga series. It is very long, so keep that in mind. If you don't want to invest in something, it's an investment. But I will be continuing on with Yona of the Dawn as well. So that is all the books I have for my spring TBR. I feel like I do have less books than I can read, but I didn't want to create an unobtainable goal. I wanted to keep it realistic and give myself room to pick up a couple other books outside of what I'm kind of showing you guys now. Let me know what you are potentially going to be reading in the next coming months. Thank you so much for watching my video. I so appreciate you spending some of your time with me. If you made it to this point in the video, leave me a dagger emoji down below so that I know. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing for future content, all the fun YouTube things that help your girl out, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye!